got the error on the Ubuntu machine, right? Or is it on the Windows machine? Windows, retry it. It should not happen. In Ubuntu, sometimes errors do happen because of the kernel mismatch. Okay. So if you have gone through the documentation of whatever I've basically shown you yesterday, sometimes you might see issues with Linux flavors. That is because of kernel mismatches, right? Even in that cases, if you go out to the manual approach where I've shown how to do it, it will tell you the error, right? But sometimes, right, it is basically it might happen due to kernel version mismatch. That's the only thing. Okay, right. So yeah. Okay then. So let us get started. So yesterday I think we have okay, right. So today you will be seeing one section over here which is called as Windows blog, which is called as Windows blog. Now right now I have Linux blog, but if you click into that, I've started basically speaking about PowerShell. Started speaking about PowerShell. So I would recommend that you can start looking into that. Okay. So you will be seeing an article. There is no need for you to directly go to the stuff, but there will be a video over here which is this, and then along with that I would like to create a playlist. I think, let me see, if there is no playlist I'll get it added. So there will be one PowerShell playlist over here. Okay. So from today onwards, every day you will be seeing some articles on PowerShell, at least 5 videos a week till we finish PowerShell. Right. Okay. Right. So let us log in into our Azure portal. Okay. And now today what we will do is, let us directly search for Azure Monitor. So yesterday we were going to individual resources and then checking. So now what I'm asking you to do is directly type Azure Monitor and use this section. Okay. So please open that. All right. Okay. So once you go over here, here also you'll be seeing metrics. Okay. But this is a service, or this is a place where you can see at multiple shots. So insights. So when you click on insights, you can look out at some application insights. Virtual machines. So if you click on virtual machines, yesterday we had some virtual machines, and for some of the virtual machines, whatever has been enabled. Okay. So there are many other things which you can basically look into. So these are the insights. Okay, and now along with that there are metrics. Okay, so this is one place where you can try to create dashboards for various different types. So for example, you can say that, yeah, I'm interested in all resource types. Okay, or you can say that I'm not looking out for everything at this moment, I'm looking out for virtual machines. Okay, so you'll be seeing only virtual machines at this moment. So now basically select a scope. So apply. So there is no need for you to basically go to that machine and then create metrics over there. You can create it from here itself. Okay, now you can say that I want to add one more metric. Okay, so this time my scope might be, again, I'll not select everything, I'll be selecting only virtual machines. Okay, and my scope might be web. Okay, and then my metric again might be percentage C. So right now are you seeing, so I have two metrics. One is a percentage web of one particular machine, the other one is a percentage CP of another percentage machine. So I can do that. Okay, if I don't like line chart, I can go with area chart. Okay, if I don't like area chart, I can go with scatter chart. Okay, if I don't like it, I can go with grid, which will tell you the actual number. Okay, so all of this I can basically get it done very easily from here. Now once I have this, okay, sorry Singh, I can share this link, I can copy this link. Okay, now let me see, once I copy this link, what happens. So once you are connected to Azure, you can just look at this dashboard, and this dashboard can be linked in your what do you call, or displayed on your television sets near where your team works and all of that stuff. You can go on and on. There is a lot of history about this machines. Okay, so right now it is basically showing you the data. Okay, so if you look into it, so right now, as of now, there is not much of CPU that has been basically used. You can go on and on. Okay, so we have the whole history of this record. Okay, so that's fine. I'm just closing it up. Okay, similarly, if I want, I can basically say that I am interested in new graph at this moment, and my scope is, okay, you can select any resource in Azure. Okay, so rather than saying all resource types, let us assume that you are looking out for databases. So you will type SQL. So you'll select SQL databases. Okay, or possibly all the SQL related stuffs. Okay, and then apply. Okay, for me, I don't have anything at this moment, but for you, you should be able to see some of the stuff if you have a database. Select that, start displaying the graphs. So if someone says that I want the resources for what uh, are using containers. Okay, so you will basically try to select whatever it is. For me right now, I don't have those insights, that those instances. That's the reason why you are not seeing a lot of them. Okay, so similarly storage, so everyone will have some kind of storage account for sure. So You select storage account. Okay. Now in storage account, you'll have some metric. Now you add one more metric. Okay. Used capacity. Okay. Egress. Okay. Which is outgoing traffic. Ingress. Incoming was more than outgoing. If you look at the sizes over here. Okay. And then if I look at availability. Okay. So this is what the availability is all about. But I'll go with ingress and egress. They make more sense. Okay. Right. So that's it. My second graph is also done. Now you need not basically try to go to every individual resource and then look into what do you call look into the graphs. You can have a customized graphs at a centralized location. Okay, so individual VMs are good, but they are good till some extent. But if you are trying to basically do the stuff for multiple different scenarios, then I think it is something which we need to look out for centralized monitoring kind of a stuff. And exactly at those kind of locations is where we basically go with Azure Monitor, where we go with Azure Monitor. Okay, right. So, and generally for the people who learn VM, when we learn virtual machines, we'll also speak about virtual machine scale sets. And when we basically scale virtual machines within virtual machine scale sets, we'll be using metrics. We'll be using metrics. And from metrics, okay, so yesterday when we have looked at alerts, remember I've written some alerts and then I've written some actions and all of that stuff. Okay, so let me create a new alert. Okay, so select a resource. I'll select some virtual machine. Okay, or virtual machine scale sets, whatever that makes sense to you. Okay, done. Now select a condition, percentage CPU. Okay, right. Okay, percentage CPU is, I'll go with less than because greater than might not be triggered. So greater than 70%. So that is my condition. And whenever this condition happens, remember yesterday we have created an action group which was all about sending mails. But not only that, not only that. Let me see the other actions which I can do. Okay. So my action group name is exploring, EXP. Okay. Are you seeing actions? In this actions you can basically do certain interesting things. Okay, so if you want to perform any automation, saying that whenever CPU utilization is greater than 50 percentage, I want to run some script, I want to run some code. So that is where Azure function comes into play. So we will be learning that very soon, but okay, here you can select what is the function app which you have. Right now I don't have any function apps, but I'm just trying to show you the basic stuff. You can, with this notifications, not only you do the basic stuff, right? You can go with the advanced stuff also. And then there is one more thing which is called as automation runbook. Okay, so automation runbooks are runbooks which you can basically run. Okay, these are all built-in runbooks. Are you seeing? So these runbooks can help you in what do you call restarting the VM, stopping the VM, scale up the VM and scale down the VM. And not only that, if you have your own runbooks which you have written, okay, right now I don't have anything, but if you have written, Okay, and if you have an automation account, from that you can write something called as this automation runbooks. Okay, so we'll be learning that when the time comes, but the whole point is this is the second thing. Okay, and the third thing which you would generally do is, sorry, seeing logic app. Okay, this logic app is also something which you learn when we learn development activities, but you can trigger the logic app. Okay, and let us assume that you don't want to do all of this. Your company already has some application which is running on the web, and you have to trigger that. So in that cases, are you seeing this webhooks? Okay, you will try to tell, okay, whenever this happens, what is the URL which I need to call the data, which I need to send the notification to. So there are two URLs. One is HTTP URL, which is called as webhook. The other one is HTTPS URL, which is called as secure webhook. So whenever any alert happens, you can do some kind of automation also, right? So alert workflow, right? So what is that we can basically do? Okay, so first you will have, I'm just writing it as a resource because this can be done for anything. Resource, and every resource will have some metrics. Okay, so based out of these metrics, based out of these metrics, okay, we raise, let me see if I can find something called as alert. Okay, we raise alerts. Okay, and when we raise alerts, what we can basically do is, okay, when we raise alerts, what we can do is, we can basically, okay, take action. We can basically take some action, right? So this is action, and action can be as simple as, okay, let me write the stuffs. Send mail notification. This is very simple. This is something which is very obvious also. Okay, not only that, we can also start VM, start or stop, or okay, scale VMs. Okay, scale VMs, right? We can basically do some, call the functions. I'll call it as code. Okay, so right, so you can do that. So what I'm trying to tell is, you can create a workflow. Okay, so that's basically what I'm trying to speak about. Okay, so, and along with all of this, okay, you can call the external applications. Okay, and you can also call the, I didn't want to write this, but let me write it. Call the workflows in Azure. Right. Good. So whenever metrics happen, we can do this. To send the mail notification, it is very straightforward. Right. For starting and stopping VMs, okay, we use. Let me try to write it. Okay. So this can be done by automation runbooks. Okay. There is nothing you need to write it, but we will be using built-in runbooks. And for this, you will be using Azure. Let me see if there is some. Yeah, we will be writing Azure functions. Okay, you can basically deal this with Azure functions. Similarly, we have one more thing which is called as Azure logic apps. Okay, so I'm just giving you this overview because you should be able to at least know, even if you know this. Okay, and here we have webhooks. Okay, so let it be secure or whatever it is. If you want to call the external applications, you can do this. Okay, so send notifications, and also along with that, okay, you can basically, in addition to that, you can take actions. In addition to that, you can take actions. Okay, so let me see if I can Azure runbook icon. Okay, so this is a fine, that's fine. I think I'll put it in this way. Okay, so this is basically what happens, and this is a very important workflow to understand. This is a very important workflow to understand. Okay, so going down the line, whenever some of the errors happen, you might be asked to do some automation around it, and at that time this image will help you a lot. Okay, so 14. Okay, review dot slash images slash az up 49 dot png. Okay, navigate to central Azure monitor. Azure monitor. Okay, so rather than individually looking at metrics and logs of resources, the central Azure monitor can be used. Right. Okay. So Azure alerts help in, okay, sending notifications, okay, sending alerts to your existing ITIL tool, okay, let it be ServiceNow or whatever tools which your company is using for IT tickets, okay. Some of the companies use Jira, right, whatever it is. And then you can also take actions like start, restart, stop, or scale VMs using automation runbooks, okay. Call code hosted on Azure functions. Call the workflows created using Azure Logic Apps. Call external web apps using web hooks. So you have secure webhooks also. Right. So this is basically what you end up doing uh, whenever you want to do something with respect to automation, something with respect to automation. Right. So automation is basically triggered from alert. Okay. So you basically go with metric, create an alert, and from that alert you basically decide what can be done. You decide what can be done. Okay. So alerting and automation basically go in hand in hand, and you can basically collect the what do you call create alerts on logs also. You can create alerts not only on metrics, but you can basically create alerts for various different things, right? So basically, okay, you can create metric alert rules and all of that stuff. That is all fine. Okay. So now let us look into one of the area which we have not seen so far. Okay. Let me close this stuff which you have not explored so far. Okay. So are you looking into this logs? So we were majorly focused towards um, metrics. Okay. So you can say that I'm interested in logs of any service which you want, but the most easiest thing which you can basically do is let me go with operations. Okay. Okay. So let me try to tell that I'm looking out logs only for virtual machines. First, let me unselect them. Okay. Virtual machines. So basically applied. Now, if you see, there are some logs over here, and it says that you have to run some queries. You have to run some queries. Okay. So there is Azure activity. Okay. So I have to run some queries, but I don't know how to run these queries. This looks strange. Let me click on runs. Let us see what happens. It says that you don't have any query. Okay. So how do I basically run this? Okay. So that when I type Azure activity, it doesn't give me anything. Okay. So I click on run. It says that you have a syntax error. Let me just write Azure activity and then see it. It says that you don't have any of the, what do you call, you don't have any of the previous records right now. There is something wrong with this. Okay, so now let me try to run this. Okay, so it says that, okay, your query could not be parsed as there is some end of the line is. Let me try to do this. Okay, so there are some errors. Why am I unable to write this? So exactly at this point, okay, these queries or whatever you're writing over here, okay, so please look at this. This is a different language altogether. This is called as KQL. This is called as KQL. Okay, right. So logs in Azure. In Azure, like metrics, just like metrics, logs are also collected. Logs can be queried. Okay, for this, we need to understand. Okay, so just like SQL, this language is called as KQL. Okay, queried, which, okay, which is also called as KQL, and we'll be using this term called as KQL. Okay, so for the people who know little bit of SQL, it will be very easy for you to understand. But if you don't come from this world, it might be little bit difficult. Okay, but the basic concept is very simple. Okay, so there are some examples. Let me go with examples. There is a lot of documentation which Azure tries to give you. So it tries to tell that this event, there is a table called as event, and in this event he is trying to basically write some application. Okay, so let me try to do the same thing. Let me go with Azure, go over here, and let me open this in a different browser so that it will be easy for me. I'll be opening this from here. Okay, right, now let me go over here, Azure activity, and are you seeing there are many records over here. This is a table, and in this table has a lot of records. Now in this example, he's using a table called as event, and he's basically going with these kind of stuffs, right? So let me try to give Azure activity where, okay, uh, I can go with anything. Time generated is less than ago of 24. Okay, what else did I missed? Oh, I have not given hours, right? Okay, so there are no data. Okay, there is literally no data over here. Okay, so you have to basically look into these kind of, what do you call, this kind of querying. For this you need to understand this query language. You need to understand this query language, and whole of this query language is basically mentioned over here. So how to build queries. Okay. So what is this KQL language as such? Okay. So for the people who come from SQL world, okay, KQL for SQL. Okay. So for example, you write select data from table. Here you will directly write the table. Okay. Select a name or result code from table. You would be basically writing this. Okay. So dependency is a table, and then he's trying to tell project name and result code. So right now, this is what we would do. So Azure activity colon project activity status. Let me run. So there is no record actually in this table. Okay, fine. Now let me go with performance. So perf, okay, and project. So if there are any records in this, you can basically say project computer. Okay, there are no records. So right now we are not getting logs because we don't have records. But the whole idea is you need to basically run through this, and from here you can draw graphs also. From here you can run graphs also, right? So this is very important stuff for the people who come from DB background. If you come completely from admin background, okay, writing KQL with SQL experience is simple. So if you know SQL, okay, just go to this link, and then you will have all of the stuff done, all of the stuff done. Okay. So and along with all of that, there was one KQL query Azure. They used to basically give one samples. Let me basically look at. They used to give us one of the area where you can basically to run this query. Yeah, click here. Good. Oh man. Oh, all right. So now are you saying there is a samples data, and in this there are tables, and in tables if you see, basically there are some of the tables which they have given. Okay. And then if you want, you can basically run through this, but let us run this. Okay. It says that count is 23. Now you try to run. So this Azure Data Explorer, this Azure Data Explorer. Okay. So I'll try to basically give this copy link address. Okay. So let me see if I can basically go to this link straight away. Okay, good. So now for experimenting, navigate to here and build some KQL queries. Build some KQL queries. Okay, so you can be easily create a KQL queries now. Okay, so once you understand what this whole stuff is all about, okay, right. So now you have samples. Open the samples. You can basically look into anything now. Sorry, saying COVID-19. Okay, this is an interesting area for a lot of us. Okay, so we can basically get into any of these tables. Okay, so COVID-19 underscore map to uh, dot project. Let me give location. Sorry, saying there is basically some of the data that is coming in. Okay, or if you want to see select a star from everything, just try to run this. So this is the whole data which we have with respect to the stuff, right? So same thing I can do for one more table which is called as, I don't know what is in here. So first let me run the whole record. So then I'll get the whole story. Okay, and then you can build your own queries around it. So if you come from the database background, try to spend some time. If that is not the case, leave it. If that is not the case, leave it, right? But you can basically have this kind of a data, and then you can easily write queries by following this stuff. So the only thing which you have to look out for is, okay, look out for this SQL to KQL comparison. Okay, so if you come from SQL, most of us will have little bit of SQL background for sure. Okay, and then once you have, okay, the next thing which you do is configure alerts on analytics query Azure. Yeah. So just refer this section. That is more than enough. Refer here for log alerts. This is an extreme case. You might not end up going with log alerts, but if you want, you can basically use that. You can basically use that, right? So now last thing before I take your questions, okay, IT service management connector. Okay, Azure monitor IT service management. Uh, yeah, good. So using or Azure monitor can connect to IT service management. IT service management tools using connector. Okay, that connector is IT service management connector. Okay, so as of now the following tools can be the following service management tools can be connected. If you predominantly come from complete IT background, so you can collect service now. You can collect a tool to called as Provence. There is one Microsoft tool, System Service Manager. Oh, sorry, Service Manager. There is one more. I don't remember it, but we can easily find out looking at documentation, right? Okay. So now refer this section for IT ticketing solutions. You have to go through that. I'm giving you the link to the same stuff. Okay. Right. So here, if you look into this, okay, the other one was Cherwell. Right. So if you look into this, here he will try to tell you all the UIs with respect to how do you connect to your IT ticketing tool. All the graphs are basically given. You can connect to your existing IT tool. Okay. And then how do you basically output the data, and all of this area is basically present over here. And look into this section for IT based ticketing tool connectivity, right? You might not do it, but when it comes, you might, if you want to do it, this is how you basically do it. So from Azure Monitor, I can raise an alert to my existing IT ticketing tools. For example, when CPU utilization is greater than 0, if my company is using a service now, I can raise a ticket over there saying that admins need to look into that. So that is also possible. That is what this opportunity or this opens up. This opens up, right? Okay, right. How often we use this KQL? You see, it depends on which role you belong to. Generally, this is given to the people who come from database kind of a background. But if you know even little bit of database background, if you have logs, you can easily do this activity. It is not that difficult to basically perform this activity. Okay, so OMS is operational management suite. Okay, OMS is operation management suite, which is internal service at this moment. Okay, so you can in logs, VM, and KQL, there are tables already created. Do we need to automatically? No, you don't. You need not create tables. So when you enable what you call log agents in your virtual machines, the logs will be applied, or your logs will be generated in those tables. Once you will have logs generated in those tables, then what you can basically do is you can use that logs to build your queries. You can use your logs to build that queries. That is basically what happens. I got an error when I try to create an alert. Okay, fine. Raise a defect, sir. If you got an error, I think I've said what has to be done. Please raise a defect, man. Right? Okay. So I'm quite sure we know where to raise defects, right? Okay. In GitHub.com, I've shown you that Azure issues. Please go to that link and then raise an defect. Okay. Right. And please try to create an email with which we can identify you. Please just do that. Okay. And then what is it? See, first of all, what is your name? Why is that I'm not seeing your name? See, I want you to see. I don't like this section. Okay. So if you want, try to enter your name. Why am I not seeing your name? Okay. First correct that, then I'll answer your question. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. So here, but still I'll try to tell answer. Creation is not failing because it is not registered. Have you Googled it? If you would have Googled it, will show, it would have shown how to enable this. That's it. You could have enabled that. Right. Okay. So right. Right. So the whole point is, when it comes to Azure Monitor, okay, it is just not only collecting and showing some data and where you can basically see the graphs and all other stuff. You can even query this, and for querying, there is a very this is a very strong language. It is much more than what we see over there. It is used in your data sciences, and whenever you want to query any kind of document, KQL can come into play. So KQL was just not designed for Azure monitoring, since it was used in some of the other languages where it was tried to basically where people were using that for extreme kind of scenarios. Microsoft has adapted that into Azure Monitor, right? So that you can do decent things over here. That's a basic idea. That's a basic idea of this the KQL as a language, right? Okay, now, right? So basically, tomorrow and day after tomorrow we have full DevOps classes, right? From Tuesday onwards, we will be starting server migrations, right? And then database migrations, and then ARM templates, and then uh, basically Azure blueprints. So this is going to be our next set of activities which we would basically speak with respect to Azure. Okay, right, sir. So please focus. Right now, you have to give your complete attention on DevOps class. Okay, so this weekend and most probably the next weekend we'll have whole of Jenkins finished, and then over the next week, over the weekend from there, we will be looking into Azure DevOps, right? So after that we will be starting Docker and Kubernetes, where we have to learn the Azure Kubernetes and all of that stuff. Right now there are many openings only on the people who are good with Azure DevOps. Okay, and there is one product which is called as Azure DevOps. We will try to understand what those things are. Okay, so yeah, we'll not have a class on Monday. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Will we look into Azure DevOps? You will. Okay. Yeah. What are the tomorrow timings? I'll tell us in the DevOps class. Okay. Anyway, you'll be attending there, right? So why should I tell it twice? So let us do all of that there itself. Okay. Right, sir. I'll be basically let us meet again in DevOps class. Thanks. All right. When we'll cover Azure Dev concepts, sir. Azure Dev concepts will be after. It might be somewhere around June first week. June first week, you might start looking into that. Okay. And Sridhar, are you a developer? Partially no, become full-fledged developer. Partial will not help. Okay. Right. Fine then. Right, sir. Thanks. Okay then.